Hey everyone, this is Steve Kick, the host of the MMLA Connect podcast. I have another episode coming up here. Today we have Kirk King with Halo Programs. Hello, Kirk. Thanks for joining us.
Hello there, Steve.
How you doing today?
Doing great, man.
Well, Kirk, you have an interesting background. Before we kind of get into mortgage here, you're the president and CEO of Halo Programs. But before that, what were you doing?
Well, let's I have like the craziest career story ever.
We want to hear it.
All right, well, so probably just a little bit of grounding roots. So I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and we grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. And then when I was about ready to go to high school, we moved to Waterford, and that's where I graduated high school, Kettering. And I went to work in a factory. That was my first job. So if you ever watched that movie like 8 Mile, where Eminem's putting the big sheets of steel in the press and pulling it out, that was my job, right? So I did that about a year, and I was a big, strong guy, and I still am, yeah. And then after that, I got promoted. So I became like a tool and die setter. So I used to set these big prog dies and line dies in these big 200-ton presses to make to stamp steel. And then another 6 months went by, I got promoted again to tool and die machinist. And then I was running like Bridgeports and lathes and surface grinders. And one time I flipped the lathe on, I'll never forget it, shot the chuck all the way across the room or across the factory. Thank God nobody got hurt, but I got reamed out by my journeyman. But anyway, I became a tool and die builder. So skilled trades, got my journeyman's card. And I always worked. I went to school at night. So I worked in Auburn Hills, and I used to go to OCC in Auburn Hills. And I got my associate's degree in computer-aided engineering from OCC. So I left the factory world, and I went to work at a little company called General Motors. And I was
Some people may have heard of it.
Yeah. And I was a computer-aided engineer on the Corvette platform. So
what were you doing?
Yeah. So I was doing like graphics, CATIA. They'd bring me like these big CAD models of the engine, the Corvette engine. And I was trying to get like the water pump designed on it and the accessory drive. Like the hardest thing to engineer in any engine is to put the dipstick in, because everything else takes precedence. You got to get the dipstick in last. Right. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I did that for a couple years, kept going to school. I got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, not software engineering. And I graduated. I graduated from Lawrence Tech and in Southfield. And then I got a job as an engineer, right? So design engineer. And my first job was at a little company called Takata, which I went out of business. But I got to design something that nobody knows they even have in their car, but it's at the bottom of the seatbelt buckle. And it's called a pretensioner. And the only people that ever know if they have a pretensioner is if they've been in a rollover car accident. Because if you roll over a car accident, the pretensioner will fire, and it cinches the seatbelt down about 4 inches, which keeps your head from getting smashed. So that was like my first engineering feat, and it was pretty cool. So I'm proud.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
And then I left Takata, and I went to a United Technology Automotive. And my first job there was designing memory buttons. So nobody thinks about it nowadays, but in your car, you got memory button 1, 2. Sometimes you have 1, 2 on both sides now. I was the guy that did that. So I was the design engineer, built a little electromechanical module, put it under the seat with the buttons in the door. My second claim to fame. And then the third one I did was the blinker in the mirror. So you don't think about it nowadays, every car's got blinkers in the mirror, but in United Technology Automotive, that was like brand new, revolutionary. So really excited about that.
You had your hands on that too, huh?
Yeah, you can see like I'm involved in all this design and engineering stuff. And then United Technology Automotive got sold to Lear, and Lear laid off 4,000 people. So it was really hard, man. Every day you go to work, you think you're gonna get laid off. They never laid me off. So I was like, hey, this doesn't feel good. So I left and I went to a little company called Delphi, which is part of General Motors. And at the time they were spinning off from General Motors. So that was another cool job. They said, hey, we're going to be, instead of just selling parts to GM, We can now sell parts to all the car companies. So I went to Delphi, and I was the guy involved with the design engineering that made the power liftgate on the Chrysler minivan, and then the power sliding doors on the Chrysler minivan. I used to work with a guy named John Machano and a couple gyms, and they were
Those are some
awesome.
nice improvements.
Yeah. So they were revolutionary. And let me tell you, the first power liftgate on a Chrysler minivan was very crude. Like if you stuck your arm in there, it would cut it off. But we proved it could be done. So that was all fun. And then I went to work for a company called Borg Warner Automotive. People know Borg Warner for like transmissions and torque transfer cases, powertrain components. And I ended up working at Borg Warner for like 10 years, almost 10 years. And it was an amazing experience. So this is like the best thing I ever experienced as an employee. So my boss would give me like 10 or 12 things. And he said, if I don't see you between now and next Christmas, if you get these 10 or 12 things done, I'll know that you did an amazing job. To talk about like no micromanaging at all.
Yeah.
Like we had corporate jets at Oakland Airport. We could fly anywhere we wanted to go. I could go to Europe, meet with customers over there. I mean, we were building turbos. I mean, it was so much fun. But I was the sales guy. So in just under 10 years, I got $1 billion worth of automotive contracts.
Wow.
So
That's
this
pretty
is
cool.
like, this is all exciting stuff. This has nothing to do with
Yeah.
more. I know.
Yeah.
But then in January 2010, my wife came home crying and said that Dave Epps was going to probably just shut the company down. So she started working here when she was like 18, and she had worked at Continental Programs the whole time. And the mortgage industry just got destroyed 2008. So in January 2010, Dave's thinking about shutting the company down, didn't have an exit strategy. And I went over and met with Dave. And in June of 2010, I bought the company. So left big corporate America. I had no idea what I was doing.
You made a decision that quick, huh?
Well, yeah, matter of months.
Yeah.
But when I bought it, man, I thought I was going to be a genius because it was 100% print mail. So back in the day, we had big customers too. But back in the day, they'd give us like $40. We'd send out mailers over 5 or 6 years, just helping loan officers keep in touch with their clients, repeat business, referrals. And I thought we were just going to add emails to the programs, add online surveys, and we'd bounce right back up to $15 million company, right? That was not the case. So it was by the end of 2012, I decided we had to start building software. So that was about 4 years of building software. And then you probably heard of that little company called MGIC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So at the time, they owned a company called Myers Internet. I had flown over there a couple times, met with MGIC, and I was trying to buy Myers Internet. Is what I was trying to do. And that deal didn't work out. But in the meanwhile, I got to meet with Sal and some of the executives at MGIC. And I explained to them that I was going to build a mortgage CRM that ran by itself. Loan officers have to go in, stand on their head, pick contacts, try to pick campaigns. But I was going to try to build something that ran autonomously. And they thought it was a great idea. They actually helped me. When we first launched it was called MGIC Elements. And that ran for a couple years. And then we changed it to My CRM. And now we changed it to MortgageHalo. And we're not going to change the name again. But MGIC helped us get some customers, helped us get a little bit of legs under our feet, under legs under our body with that. And now it's been, 9 years been in production. So
9 years? 9 years of bliss, right?
there's all kinds of challenges in business, right? Especially when you're small, right? I can remember when I was at Borg Warner, I used to run around as a sales guy and say, we need to hire more people. At the time, we had 14,000 employees. We didn't need to hire any more people. I feel bad. About once a year, I think about that and go, I should not have been doing that at Borg Warner. They had plenty of people. But as a small business, you don't have a lot of people. So it's hard. And I made some mistakes. One of the mistakes I made was when we were building MGIC Elements, which became my CRM, it was desktop version. Well,
Now everything's on the mobile, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so in 2000 and, was it 2020, we had to rewrite all of it to make it mobile first. And then that launched in November of 22. So the mobile first version. So that's been in production a little over 3 years now. But yeah, it's so much better now. Like the whole system's more stable and less duct tape. But yeah, we're very blessed. We've got a lot of big customers.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to have you as a part of the MMLA and like continue to see your growth and what Mortgage Halo can do. You talk about the I think that some of the struggles of being like a small business owner. Let's talk about that. Like, I mean, you got to overcome problems. You got to figure out issues, and building something isn't easy, right? Usually something meaningful, if you do it the right way, takes a long time, right?
Oh yeah, takes a long time. Yeah, I mean it's crazy complex. So when you start, I remember calling our vendor, our IT vendor at the time. They're still our IT vendor, but I told them, I'm like, hey, I want to build this thing, and for years we're going to build it, not make any money on it, and I need 5 servers in a data center that are this big, so we can build it all out. And for whatever reason, they believed me. So
You convinced them.
yeah, so they
Good
got
sales guy.
5 little servers. They were little bitty ones, and they ran out of a hosted center in Michigan here, and we built that. But I mean, there's so many challenges with software and code. I did some good things. We decided up front, like we're gonna do like Microsoft, so it's all SQL based, and we're gonna stick with one programming language, which is .NET C Sharp. But yeah, there's a million challenges. I mean, I got over 1,000 loan officers that count on me every day to send them leads,
Yeah.
and they're
Caring about people, Kirk, I mean, like, if that's the way you build a business and that's how go about your relationships, then, there's nothing but success that will come from it. Sometimes it's, you know, a little bit harder to come by, especially as you're building a company, and you hopefully learn from your mistakes, so that you don't make them again, right? Next time around, you made sure to try and be open with your employees, right? Hey, if you're struggling with something, come to me and let me know, or come to your supervisor, right? Let's keep an open door policy.
but yeah, I mean the other thing about loan officers is you got to get like one level down. So like you see them at the conference, it's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, things are good. I got a couple more apps. But then if you just break through, like I call it peeling back a layer of the onion, like every loan officer has these amazing stories. And it's usually like the hardest loan they got approved. It's
Yeah,
usually the smallest commission check they made. But you guys have dozens of stories about like it was 4, 6, 8 weeks of heck for you, right? But really changed people's lives. And that's just I want to send my loan officers as many leads as I can because I know they care.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
doing
I
the
mean,
right.
and it's transformational what we're doing. Like, generational wealth is a real outcome of home ownership, and if we can help people refinance or lower their interest rate, or find them, help them on the next house because we're staying in touch with them through our CRM, that's gold, right? Especially if we don't have to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, generational wealth is one thing, but just that generation's wealth, right? Like if people don't buy houses, they usually don't have very much net worth at all when they're retirement age, right?
Statistically, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a isn't it like 30 or 40 times the net worth that homeowners have versus renters? It's something pretty
Yeah.
large. So,
Yeah. Getting people into a home so they have a place to raise their family and pay off their debt, right? Pay off the mortgage and
yeah,
build up equity. Like that's, I mean, I don't know what exactly the stats are, but I bet it's 80% of people's net worth is their home value when they're close to retirement.
I believe it. Yeah, it's paying the mortgage down, and then also the increase in equity and appreciation and value that a lot of people don't think about as well. So, um, it is powerful.
You guys are doing amazing stuff. I'm just trying to help you.
So are you. So let's talk a little bit more about Mortgage Halo. Like, tell us what it does. Obviously, it's connecting with past clients or current clients and referral partners. But tell us the secret sauce of why Mortgage Halo is a great CRM.
So the way mine works, the way I built it to work intentionally, is the data comes in from the LOS, or it can come in from, leads where they're buying leads from a website, but it ultimately goes into Mortgage Halo. And then Mortgage Halo is smart enough to identify attributes about that contact and then automatically puts them into a campaign. So it'd be like a pre-qual campaign, first time home buyer, credit coaching, prospect, whatever. It automatically moves them into those campaigns with very customized messages. And for like 6 months, that is very specific. And then, people are looking for houses for years. So after that first 6 months, then it falls into more of like a generic prospect campaign with reminders to like call your prospect and get them a new pre-qual letter, right? So that kind of thing. And then once they get to the part where they actually complete a mortgage application, Mortgage Halo is smart enough to realize, pull them out of those other campaigns, put them in the milestone campaigns, start notifying the borrower, co-borrower where they're at in the process, notify the buyer and listing agent. And then as they go through the mortgage milestones, identify if anything seems like it's stuck with kind of like alerts like, hey, you should check on this. This one seems kind of weird. And then once you get to the funded, it's closed and funded, then Mortgage Halo automatically moves that contact to the next campaign, right? So the post closing. And because continuity programs, which is now Halo programs, because we were doing post close since 1973, the inventor of the post close program, we have the best post close. And there's so much value in the post close, right? I mean, that's where you get the referrals, the testimonials, the online reviews, you can cross sell services. But throughout that journey, our systems join it all automatically. So, like a loan officer, they log in, they look at that person, they've already been moved to the right campaigns. And then when 5 years down the road, they buy another house or refinance, they go right back through the process again. And then we have alerts like if somebody puts a house on the market, we tell the loan officer, hey, your customer just put a house on the market. Usually send out a trigger mailing to the customer. We alert the loan officer who the listing agent is. And then I just signed an agreement this year with TransUnion, and we'll be able to offer like the portfolio retention triggers. A lot of these lead generators, like the whole industry is changing, right? Because the legislative in March, they won't be able to sell the leads to 60 people.
The trigger leads bill. You're
Trigger leads, yeah.
referring to. Yeah.
But in that bill, there's actually a carve out that says that if you have a relationship with them, it's okay for me to tell you if they apply for a mortgage somewhere else. So we're working with TransUnion to build that out. So I'll have that in Q1. So,
Yeah.
but I think the reason that we still win is we just do it differently. Like we set everything all up. It takes a month and we do it, right? And then because it's all running automatically, if you need to make a small change, it's like, hey, Steve, I know you need help. We're gonna make the change for you. Like it's just we run our business a little different. The golden rule, treat people the way you'd want to be treated, right? Um,
Absolutely.
if
You
I
know,
don't have if I don't have the largest company in the world, I'm okay with it. But I'm gonna treat people the way I'd want to be treated.
I think it's a good point to talk about too, Kirk, is that like you were talking about all the different campaigns, the fortunes in the follow-up, right? And that's before they've started, while they're in process of buying the house, and also afterwards, right? There's opportunity all along the way. And I think a lot of people don't realize that if you stay in contact with those people and you keep showing up, whether it's you automatically doing it through a CRM or the CRM is telling you, hey, reach out and give them a call or do something like that. Those opportunities are so important for loan officers to utilize. And if they don't have a CRM that's doing that for them on their behalf, I mean, they're definitely behind the game, right?
If I can get all the loan officers in the United States to do these two things, um, it would exponentially help them. So when you have a closing with Kirk and Jamie King, right? Put it on your calendar 1 month out. Just call them a month after the closing. And then call them every year on their mortgage anniversary. Like, if I could get all loan officers to just do that, like, every loan officer would have at least 10, 15% more business.
On every mortgage anniversary. I usually was attempted to do the birthday call thing, but I like the mortgage anniversary just as much because that's what we did for them. That's how we helped them, right? I mean, that's
And
our important piece.
a good CRM where either sending out, a birthday wish from you or a birthday card from you based on whatever options the lender chooses. But we're already doing that, and they're getting 100 Facebook birthday wishes, but just calling on the anniversary. It's
Yeah, it's a game changer.
a little thing to do, and I know you guys do a lot of business, right? So you might have 5 or 6 phone calls a day, right, to make.
Yeah,
You're calling people you already worked with, you already helped them with, like, the biggest transaction of their life, and it's a happy call. It's like, "Can't believe it's been a year since we closed your mortgage. Just wanna call and see how you're doing."
yeah. And you never know what's going on in their life or if they have a family member that has needs. You just popped into the conversation. That's a huge opportunity to be making those phone calls when you don't have the borrowers coming in or calling to follow up. It's a huge opportunity. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation because it's reminding me that I got to start doing a better job of reaching out to my past clients.
That's maybe it's the New Year's resolution. You can try to call people on their mortgage anniversary. See if you can do it, right?
Yeah, communication.
But let me tell you, I had no idea what I was doing 2010, and I really didn't know what I was doing for years into that, right? I started getting my arms wrapped around the mortgage industry pretty early on, 2011, 12. But I think it was Tim Ross that actually told me about MMLA.
Nice transition, by the way, because that's where I was going next too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, MMLA has been a game changer, right? So I remember you feel like an alien when you walk in a room, you don't know anybody.
Yep.
But I can remember going up to, I think it was Traverse City, was my first MMLA event I went to. And I went up there and I think I had Dink with me, Dink Card. She's legendary. She's happily retired now, but she was my customer success manager for like 13 years. But Dink and I went up to the conference and we literally walked in like aliens. Like, you don't know anybody in the MMLA. So, of course, who approached me first, right?
I don't. Who was it?
Mike Fontaine.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
came right up to me. He's like, "I don't recognize you. Who are you?" I told him my name's Kirk King. At the time, it was Continuity. Um, and I mean, the guy gave me like a practical hug. Like he didn't hug me that night, but I mean, I think I've hugged Mike since then.
Yeah.
Uh,
Think
but
we all have.
yeah, but he just welcomed me in, walked me around, introduced me people. Like we had known each other for years, and we had met like 5 minutes before. And I just felt like an alien because I wasn't from the mortgage industry, and I really needed to learn from all these people at this conference, right? Man, it's been I don't think I would have been successful without the MMLA, just because it allows people me to talk to people like you, like what's going on with you, how's things going. I remember Mark Renault walked up to me after I'd been in the MMLA for like a year and said, "We want your stuff." It was just like I didn't even sell it. He's like, "Call me up like Tuesday. I want to sign up for your marketing."
Do you remember why? What it came from? Was it someone else's loan officer or something like a story that they
Well, I don't even know why. I think he just got to know me a little bit after a year and knew I was gonna do the right thing. And the MMLA has been absolutely a game changer for me. I fell in love with Joanne. She's like my other mom. And
for a lot of us?
for all of us, I think. And
Yeah.
you know, when I travel to other states, I go to other lending associations or bank associations, they always talk about Joanne. Like she's legendary, like in the
Yeah.
entire country. I literally think we have the best mortgage lender association in the United States, in Michigan.
We might be partial to it because we're in Michigan,
Well, let's think
but
about
I know you do go to other ones, and I would agree. I hear that from a lot of people who are involved in other associations that the MMLA is the best or one of the best, and it never gets old to hear that.
Well, think about it this way, like Detroit, Michigan, right? We're the automotive and the mortgage capital, right?
Yeah. Oh
And we
yeah.
have Rocket 30 minutes from me, UWM 30 minutes from me. So,
And you've been in both industries.
yeah, I've been in both industries.
So can you tell us about a little bit about like how you think that your background in like engineering and sales and all that have helped in the transition to an industry that was basically unknown to you, right? I mean, you didn't really know the ins and outs of the mortgage industry. I'm assuming when you started when you joined, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I had bought a half dozen houses, so I'd been involved in that. I had bought a few rental houses and things like that. But no, I didn't have a clue.
Loan production is a lot different than
Then being on the
just getting
buyer
a
side,
mortgage.
yeah, no, I learned that. Um, but that's another thing, like the MMLA was unbelievably helpful, right? Because even people who are not my customer in the MMLA, I could call them, ask them a question, they'd answer it for me. I mean,
All the
it's
time.
it's a special group. Like they're and we need to make sure that as we're bringing in more and more new members, like younger members, that we give them the same love that we all felt too. Because I started seeing a lot more new faces at the MMLA, and I'll try to beat Mike over to him, but to introduce myself. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a special group.
And I think if we keep that, we got to keep that mentality, right? Is that, hey, we want to be a welcoming group. We don't want to be clicky and we don't want people to feel like they can't join it if they don't know us. I think one of the biggest things is having a welcoming group that just, when new people come in, we're like, hey, haven't seen you before. You're welcome with us, and not like, hey, haven't seen you before, don't talk to us kind of thing. That's so important if you want to grow an association, and that's the way you grow. You got to have new people.
Absolutely. Oh,
Kirk,
yeah.
we haven't talked yet about who you are outside of the industry, right? Or outside of work. So, can you tell us a little bit about who the real Kirk King is and what you do for fun or what you do with your family? I see you
Absolutely.
have Rad Dad in the background there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can I say a couple more things though about
Oh
MMO?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we gotta talk about the important stuff.
Yeah, so one of the things that was so eye-opening was not really when I was in the marketing committee. I was like secretary, treasurer, vice president, president. I think I was president Southeast for 2018. I learned all about the association. And even after that, I'm still on the legislative committee. I'm not a lender, so I don't have as much to say during the legislative calls, but there's so much stuff going on with that in the legislative side of the industry. But anyway, I just
I'm on that too, and I simply joined to be a fly on the wall so that I can learn about what's going on in our industry and at least have somewhat knowledge. I'm not adding to the conversation very much on that committee, but I feel it's important that we have people from all parts of the industry that know what's going on, legislative wise.
yeah, I think maybe in the last couple of years, there's half dozen things that I had like real life experience to share on the legislative committee, but most of the time I'm just a fly on the wall too.
That's the thing is you got to show up and you got to show up with energy and you got to show up with the right attitude. And thankfully I did that because I was loosely involved with the MMLA for a while, like events here and there, but I wasn't involved like I am now, where I'm going to the meetings and I'm part of the events and all that kind of stuff. And it's been a real game changer when I when I decided to get involved. Like when I decided to show up and really show up, the people from the MMLA have showed up back for me, and my business has grown because of it as well. So I'll toot the horn for the MMLA any day, as I know you will.
Yeah, well, if I show up at an event and you're not there, I'm texting you to make sure you're okay
I
because
know, right?
I expect to see you.
Yeah,
I've even gotten in some of your selfies. Like this is a big deal.
I know. I love it,
You're
and
like,
and that's the whole point, right? Yeah, no, we got a great group of people, and I just like being a part of it, and I'm glad that we can bring that excitement and do selfies and pictures like that because again, we do have a really special group of people that are just at the end of the day, I do think that everyone involved is trying to push the industry forward and help each other. So when that's the main goal, then it's going to be successful and it's going to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So now let's get to the family, right? And what you do outside of the office besides golf, because it sounds like golf is definitely one of your things.
Yeah. Well, I probably golf in about 8 scrambles a year. Uh, so that's fun. And then I got a guys golf trip I go on every year, um, which is like the only individual golf I do a year. But yeah, no, I like I said, I grew up in Pontiac and we moved to Waterford. I
You work with your wife?
I do. And I don't recommend that. Not because I don't like I'm not beating up my wife or not something bad. Like we've been married 22 years. It's just really hard to work with a significant other.
Yeah.
But I
I've
mean,
done it.
there's a lot of pros to it. There's just you just it never there's no disconnect. But sh
Yeah.
but she's amazing and she's tough as hell to be able to put up with me for 15 and a half years of working together. But yeah,
That's pretty
so
cool.
yeah, we started we started working, started dating. I think she was 17, so I would have been 20 roughly. And she was working as a waitress. And I told her that I wanted her to spend the weekends with me. So she quit being a waitress and got a job at a company called Continuity Programs. So, and then we were married 2003. My daughter was born in 2006, and my son was born in 2009. And yeah, it's there's a lot of challenges, you know, with marriages, especially working together. We we went through some rough patches, but you kind of get on the other side of it. But yeah, my whole world changed, you know, the day my daughter was born. Right? So you instantly go from like a guy to like, I would destroy 1,000 people to protect this one. I mean, but my daughter's now 19. She's at Grand Valley. She's
Ooh,
second year pre-med.
I'm a GVSU alum, so go Lakers.
There you go. Go Lakers. Yep. And my son is 16 and he's junior high school. So he's got one more year. He's planning to go to Michigan State. And
Won't hold that
yeah,
against.
yeah, thanks. But it's my favorite title. My father passed away when I was very young, and, you know, I kinda my mom never remarried, or I don't think she ever dated really. So, I've always, like I live close to my mom, make sure I take care of her. She's almost 75, so right now I go over there in the morning and give her her medicine, then I come to work. But, you know, we all have these different titles, right? Like I was, you know, you know, press operator and tool and die journeyman and design engineer and mechanical engineer and, you know, sales engineer. Like, you have all these titles in life. You get these titles. And I'm most proud of like super dad title. Like I've been to almost every, like I work crazy hours being an entrepreneur, but I leave work and I go to their games and I've been in a lot of gymnastics meets for like hours and hours.
You're
Track meet.
preaching to me right now, man. I'm in the thick of it. I'm in
Yeah.
the thick of it right now.
Soccer games, you know, basketball and soccer were my son's sports. Those are much more fun to watch because they're like 90 minutes, but they play outside in the worst weather. But the gymnastics meet, the tracks meets, they were like 5, 6 hours. And other than when I was like out of the state, I was at all the kids' events.
Yeah. I love that, and I think that's like that is by far the most favorite thing about this industry for me. You know, like I'm 100% commission. I don't have to punch a clock, so I can leave at 2 o'clock or whatever to go to my kid's game or take the day off or whatever it is. You know, and get that done. And as long as you're good at getting the work done that you didn't do when you were supposed to be in the office, that's the trick, right? You know, is you got to find the time somewhere else if you're going to be gone in the office. And I think people who find that perfect mix really enjoy entrepreneurship and figure it out, because it can be challenging for sure, but it also has so many opportunities to be present in the right moments, especially for your family.
Yeah, I mean, you end up going to the kids' event, and then you go back to work, or you
Oh yeah.
go work from home or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Late nights.
the the world's greatest dad is. And by the
You buy
way,
that for yourself?
I did not. But let me tell you, as a parent, you really want to ask for those kind of awards when the kids are little. That's your best chance of getting them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because now they're like teenagers or on the payroll, they have cars and insurance and all that stuff, and they don't give me these cups anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not far behind you. I got a 14-year-old freshman in high school. So he's love him to death, but he's just like his dad, too cool for school, sometimes. But it's all good.
It is all good, man. We're
Yeah.
just do the right thing, man. Just try to take care of your family, try to take care of customers. So let me tell you a stat. Something off. I'm a dorky guy, right? Like an engineer background. So in 2020, we generate 30,000
30,000.
leads. And for the last few years, it was like 7,000 leads, and then 8,000 leads. And then this year, we're on track for 10,000 leads. And when I say lead, it's like either they put their house in the market, um, again, applied for a mortgage, or they said, like, call me, right? So, like, that's what I track, right? But just in the last quarter, like refis leads have come in, more refi leads coming in, purchase leads coming in.
Yeah.
Like the market is starting to turn around. So I think if you've been in the industry for the last few years and you survived, I think we all deserve like a, what do you call it? Like
Yeah.
a badge of honor. Like, you know,
It's so wild to think about, like, we went from the highest of the highs to
yeah,
like the lowest of the lows. I mean, seriously, mortgages were coming out of our ears for a couple years there. I mean, literally, I tell this to people all the time. What it was like for me back then as a loan officer, I would answer my phone call and someone would be like, "Should I do this loan?" And the rates were so good. Like, even if you were cashing out something, it was like, yeah, I mean, it made sense, right? Like, you're gonna have the same interest rate and you're gonna get $100,000, right? Or whatever it was, or we're gonna lower your interest
or
rate by
shorten the loan type length or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And have the same similar payment, all that stuff. So, and then the faucet got turned off, right? And hey, I don't know if I like the word grinding anymore. Uh, but I mean, we've been grinding, right? Like getting through it. And the numbers have been a lot lower than what they were as far as volume goes. So a lot of people have gotten out of the business too, which means that even though the piece of the pie is smaller overall, the pieces in it are getting bigger for the players that are left over, which is, I think, what you're talking about. We're starting to see those, those upswings of production because there's less competition.
Well, and there's more houses going on the market, right?
Yeah,
So
that too.
I believe the stat is like 5 million houses a year, round numbers, is like the average over 30 or 40 years, average about 5 million houses sell every year, right? So I believe the NBA is predicting 5.2 million next year, right? So it's been a lot less than that
Yeah,
last years, right? But if we can break back over 5 million houses, in 26, we can start calling it more of a normal market.
yeah. And it sounds like all the signs are pointing to all that kind of stuff. Rates have moved downwards, to make things more affordable for people. And I think there's just the realistic expectation is like if people have to move, they're going to have to move at what the rates are at, right? And I think a lot of people sit on the sidelines because they're like, oh, 2%, 3%, and they're thinking that, oh, we're going to get back to that, and that's probably not a realistic, expectation. We could get some lower rates here, but I don't know that we see it, you know, down in the twos or threes on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Who knows? I mean, I guess could happen. But people are changing their mind about the market, right? And they're coming to terms with, okay, here's what the reality is. My rate might be, you know, 6% or 6.5%. But I got to make the move now, because how much is that house going to cost you 2 years?
Yeah, exactly. I try to explain it to people all the time. One of the first things when people ask me for advice, I always tell them like buy a house as quick as you can. It's the first thing you do. They're like, well, I want to pay off my college debt. I'm like, well, by the time you pay off your college debt, that house will be you twice as much, right? Or it could be
Yeah.
50% more. I
Yeah.
just think it's such a big deal to try to get people in homes as quick as you can, as soon as you can, as young as you can. I just think it's really
Yeah. Building that equity and getting that appreciation for sure. All right, man. Well, before we Before we finish this up, Kirk, I like to ask everyone, one positive thing that they can leave our listeners with. So leave us with something positive. What do you got for us?
Been positive. I think the mortgage industry is one of the housing industry is one of the best industries in the world because like other countries aren't like us. There's I've traveled quite a bit and they're not like the United States. Like they're not buying and selling houses like we do. They don't have the same kind of financial systems that we have. And I think I think you guys are doing amazing things that affect people's life. And my gut is it ends up being about 80% of their net worth when they go to retire is the fact that you guys help them get a house. So keep doing what you're doing. And, people like me trying to support you guys, we're going to keep doing the best we can. Right. So that's it.
Thanks for your time today, Kirk. You brought up a lot of good points today. And, at the end of the day, if you do all those things, get a hold of Kirk at Mortgage Halo and he will make your life a lot different.
Yeah.
Right.
I will provide service excellence and try to get you as many leads as I can. Yeah, that's for sure.
And you have with the MMLA. So we appreciate all the involvement and everything you've done, Kirk. Thanks again for your time today. And contact him, get that CRM going. Halo programs.
That's right.
Appreciate you.
And I'm MMLA for life, man.
Heck yeah. Same. Appreciate you.
Take
See you,
care.
Kirk.